we've all been faced with a serious question. What would you like your username to be? Now, if you're anything like me, you spent minutes, I don't want to admit to it, but maybe hours, sitting at the computer trying to think of a cool and clever username that kind of incorporates your own name into it. So, I want to talk to you guys about Twitter versus Facebook, because I know everyone's all into Facebook, and Facebook's the big and popular thing, and Twitter kind of doesn't get as much recognition. Now, Twitter is currently one of the fastest growing social networking sites in the entire world. Now, with social networking becoming such a huge part of our everyday lives, it's really important that we don't get left behind in the uptake of all the technology. So Twitter is unlike any other social networking site out there. I know in my lifetime, I'm sure I'm relatively the same age as most of you, so probably your guys' too. There have been probably at least 3 social networking sites that are all relatively the same. You create your page, you add your friends, you post, and talk to your friends. Now Twitter is nothing like that, in a sense. It's a mini blogging site, so you do share your thoughts and ideas, but you don't only just share them with your friends and families. You can share them with celebrities as well as other people who kind of have the same beliefs as you, or like if you're intrigued by something similar to someone, you guys kind of like share the same ideas. You can associate with them. I know personally I've been in contact with a few celebrities, not to brag, but a few big name celebrities. So Twitter is basically just a way to like share your ideas and your feelings with your followers. And yes, I say followers. Many of you may be saying, well, what about friends? No. Friends are a thing of the past. Followers is where we're at today. It's all about the followers. If you don't believe me, you can ask some of these people up there if you recognize any of those famous people. Twitter is, you have your main page, your home page, where you post your ideas, your thoughts, and it puts them in a timeline where it allows you and everyone else that you follow, who you're interested in seeing what they have to say, it puts you guys all in that timeline, and it's a lot more organized than Facebook in my opinion. Facebook, whenever I go on my news feed, all I see is so-and-so liked this picture from 17 days ago. And I'm like, that's completely irrelevant to my life. Why do I need to know that? So it kind of gets rid of that stuff, which is nice. It kind of filters it out. Along with that, there are a lot more features that it has that social networking sites such as Facebook don't have, which include a Discover page. The Discover page, it shares stories that are going on around the world, and it gives you a list of people who have similar interests as you that you should follow, and along with that it has worldwide trending topics, which those of you who don't use Twitter, it's a hashtag, and then whatever you want to say, and then you can click on that and see what other people post using that too. I think it's a lot better than Facebook because Facebook gives me one suggestion, and that is who to poke. And I think we all know that poking is a little bit creepy, so I tend to stay away from that. Overall, Twitter's organization just as a whole makes it a lot easier for people who are inexperienced with social networking sites to really grab the ropes and learn how to become a part of this day and age and communicate with people in a fashion that is becoming just huge everywhere and a part of everyone's everyday life. So now that you're familiar with the general idea of Twitter, I'd like to take a look at some important statistics. Now, according to Shia Bennett from the Media Bistro, she says, statistics have proven Twitter generates much more traffic compared to every other social media site, allowing Twitter to trigger, on average, 33 visits to websites compared to Facebook's 14. She also goes on to say, A new study revealed that users of all main social channels that had the highest cognitive abilities listed Twitter as their preferred site, which basically means they did a research study, and the smartest people in that chose Twitter, which, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'd like to consider myself in a league with the smart people. So I really like Twitter for that aspect of it. Twitter's also good for the market. A social demographic breakdown of Facebook versus Twitter revealed 67% of brand followers on Twitter will purchase a specific brand, whereas only 51% of Facebook users will. So by following a certain brand and having more people purchase that, it's going to help the market, and when money's flowing, realistically, it'll help the economy. Twitter's mobile. Although Twitter is free to sign up, they do make some money, as you can imagine. Their mobile ads help the company earn twice as much as Facebook, which is, I don't have the exact number, but that's a lot of money, I'm guessing, because Facebook was worth a lot. Okay, what about productivity and privacy? In an article written by Rocco Pindola, he makes the claim, Twitter will never die. It doesn't have to evolve the way Facebook does, because the content that fuels Twitter is always changing. He continues to say, you can do everything on Twitter you can do on Facebook, plus things that are actually useful. The Twitter versus Facebook feud is often referred to as a tortoise and the hare. Facebook may have been a huge hit in a short period of time, but in the end, Twitter will continue to attract more users while Facebook ultimately dies off, similar to how MySpace did. Moving on to privacy. Facebook continues to overstep companies' original privacy agreements by opting people into new features. Nick Bilton of the New York Times states, Twitter has never made its users' information public when it introduces new features because unlike Facebook, Twitter has not endlessly changed its privacy policy. Now, as many of you know, the internet can be a scary thing, and you don't want your information just floating around, which is what's nice about Twitter is when you sign up, all you do is put in your username, your password, and an email if you'd like. Where I know is Facebook, it requires a lot. They want your phone number, your birthday, address, blah, blah, blah. So Twitter is a new up-and-coming social networking site. It's a great way to express your thoughts and ideas, as well as engage with others. Most people who have taken the step believe that Facebook is soon to be a thing of the past. As you become engaged in Twitter and understand how to use it, you will be glued to it all day. Now, to wrap this all up, for those of you who still think Facebook is in its prime and the way to go, all I have is one question for you. How do you become a millionaire? Start off as a multi-millionaire and invest in Facebook stocks. Thank you.